Mic check, mic check.
You stole my thunder. I didn't even get to start the podcast. You just like jump right in and go. Yeah.
See, you're always screwing things up. And that's why I'm here, is to yell at you.
Okay. Well, if that was Stocking's mic check, Dazzo's mic check was way out of control. That was way loud. So we're going to go ahead and just like move this back a little bit.
But I listened last week because I missed it.
Yeah.
And I missed yelling at Stock.
We missed it too.
I know, right?
The listeners probably missed it too.
Sure. Yeah. I'm sure they did.
Before we dive into everything, Dazzo, Dazzo and Stock, we got to talk. Matt Randazzo, Brian Stocking here back in the Instant REAX podcast.
Where we belong.
Headquarters. Yes. Yeah. Mitch filled in admirably last week. He did. Oh, here we go. Come on. You got to feel bad for Mitch, though, because he's the Twitter guru. He's hounding Twitter. Yeah. Maybe even better than Stock.
Oh, he is.
He's all over Twitter. Doing a great job for View from West Pod on Twitter.
He's doing a great job.
So the problem is, week in and week out, he does this all night, just going through all the scores and everything, and then it's just like done. And then we do the Instant REAX, and he just has to sit by himself in his garage,
Well, I think we're nuts. Well, what we do now is what we used to do before podcasts existed.
Yeah, exactly.
We would sit in the sports office, and we would just talk about everything that happened that night. It usually would involve like what happened to us in our actual swing.
Yeah.
And then it would involve like what happened in the area and so we were doing podcasts before podcasts were cool. We just didn't push record.
That's true. That's very true.
Like this is and yeah, I do because like this is kind of the way we unwind, right? And so poor Mitch is like, how do you unwind? Like he can't. It's like he's gonna go tell his wife. Oh, I don't believe this. Blah blah blah.
It's funny. I told him just go wake up your wife and tell her, and he goes, "Oh yeah, she would not care and have no clue."
Yeah, so, exactly. I think my wife sort of stopped watching me on TV. Like we've been married for 14 years, so probably about 13 years ago.
So, okay, what I was gonna get into here before Stocking did his mic check before like anybody could even talk.
I didn't even know we were on.
Oh, we're on. We're always just ready to go.
You just randomly mic check for no reason. You just walk around like mic check just in case.
All right. So, Stocking.
Yes.
We know Mitch does a great job on Twitter. You also, you're all over Twitter. That's kind of become your thing over the years, On a Friday night, you're in the command module, okay? Yes. You kill it on Twitter. People retweet your stuff. You retweet people's stuff. But let's get into Brian Stocking's Twitter bio, okay?
This is amazing.
Now, Stock, what on Friday nights, you're doing all things high school football. And then throughout the week, you're all things high school athletics, right?
Yes.
But then why?
And pro sports.
But then, sports in general. Yeah. But then why does your Twitter bio, in news, Stocking, you're taught to lead with your best, right? Get the lead out there. Tell us the most relevant information, and you lead with substitute teacher at Davenport School District.
Because that pays my bills.
Yeah, but you're not
we pay you.
Yeah, but not what they pay me.
So and then my other point of contention here is all you say, you minimize your job here. All you say is contributor to the score.
No, I don't.
So I think we need to discuss what's his title.
He should have. This is amazing. This is long overdue. What is his title?
So first of all, we gotta flip it, and you gotta be something for the score. That's gotta be the top line of your Twitter bio.
I make $173 before tax.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say $173.
I thought he was gonna say it too.
No, I was gonna quit on the spot.
I make $173 a day teaching before taxes.
You don't have to disclose this. I admire you for doing that, but you don't have to.
That and when I do it 5 days a week, 10 days every pay period, that adds up, and they're the ones
people at home are like, he makes blah 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 blah.
And we did hear tonight that
for public record,
for your hard work, for your efforts, Camille said the student section for Davenport North was cheering for their favorite teacher, Brian Stocking.
They're very nice.
I think she made it up.
So, what about like chief statistician?
Because Scott Weiss doesn't work in sports.
Yeah.
But he's the sports executive producer.
Yeah, fair.
Because that's what he is. So, we can come up with a fancy title for you.
I'm just happy to be a contributor.
No. What would you call him? Oh, I've called him things.
I was going to say, you've called him a lot.
There's a lot we can't put on Twitter.
Score guru?
Yeah.
Score guru? Is that dumb because it's...
score. Yeah.
The score is a score guru? Gosh, not like you just...
I don't know.
Who started? Okay, back in your Iowa State days, who coined the phrase? You say staff guy is what they called you. I think, and Dan Pearson agrees with me. I think they called you stats guy, and you just got it wrong.
No.
Because Ryan Burchett went to Iowa State at the same time you did, and he said stats guy.
He's wrong because because the game I got it was when we played Baylor before we played Kansas my senior year at Hilton, and they held up a sign that said staff guy.
There's no way they called you staff guy.
Yes,
when you're doing
they did know who I was.
Do you think that they misspelled staff? And staff?
They do go to Iowa State. So
Iowa State students are way smarter than that. So they knew I was a staff. They knew I was staff guy because when at the games.
What does it mean? What does staff guy mean?
At the games, my job during basketball was I would walk to where the statisticians were. I would write down on a piece of paper the stats. Then I would take them over to opposing radio. They didn't know who I was, so but they knew me from seeing me every game, so they said, I'm staff guy. No!
I think they saw you carrying stats, and they said stats guy.
No. Yes! No, it was staff guy. I was there, you guys weren't.
But I agree that it said staff guy. But do you think they were mistaken on accident?
No. Iowa State students don't make mistakes like that.
Oh, here we go.
At Hilton, they don't make mistakes like that. The Hilton faithful are way smart.
Okay, I think they changed it to score staff guy.
Well,
score staff
guy. Staff guy.
Well, let's talk about what we're here for, and that's high school football.
Okay, we're gonna change your Twitter bio by the end of this pod. It's gonna be score staff guy.
Give me your phone.
I don't have my phone on me. I don't carry it with me everywhere.
All right, here we go.
Tomorrow morning, there's going to be stuff different on there, people.
Yep, new Twitter bio for Brian Stocking. Let's jump in. Here we go. Give us Western Big Six scores.
All right, Western Big Six. Moline wins.
From the note cards.
Moline wins 55-10 over Galesburg. Sterling beats Rock Island 56-19. Quincy defeats Geneseo 35-17. And United Township beats Alleman 47-6.
He said it right.
Go back. What was So not a whole lot of, I don't think, surprises in these scores. Kind of maybe the Quincy game, Quincy Geneseo.
Quincy was up 35-3 on Geneseo before they got two.
I thought that would be closer.
Braden Little was, according to Jackson Stone, Braden Little was doing
and
tremendous.
He's a sophomore?
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. I mean, he was having a whale of a night. In fact, he's got 12 touchdowns, I believe, in Western Big Six play.
Wow. What was the score Sterling Rock Island?
56-19. It was 35-13 at 35-13 at halftime.
I will give credit to Sterling's defense because I think that I thought Sterling would win this one, but I certainly thought Rock Island would put up more points.
Didn't last year though, and Rocky scored a ton last year. Sterling almost shut him out. It was like late in the game when Rock Island scored, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Well, also, I saw somewhere on Twitter that Rocky, if you take away Quantarian Brooks' 80-yard touchdown run, they had like -5 yards rushing.
Oh.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Sterling, I did not think they would beat them that badly. I thought it would be a little bit closer because Rocky was playing essentially for a chance at the conference championship because if they had won.
Well, you had told them a few weeks ago on the score that they were done.
Listen, if Rocky had won and Sterling won next week, then Moline, Sterling, and Rocky would go into the final game with one loss, a possible 3-way tie for the championship. And now that's gone, and it's going to be Sterling Moline for the championship next week at Browning Field.
Yep, absolutely. Let's look at Quincy.
Rocky's path to the playoffs becomes very perilous.
I don't know what that means. Can you just say difficult?
Very, very perilous or difficult. They play Geneseo next week. Then they have to go to Quincy.
Well, and
they got to win one of those two.
It's kind of the same thing with Geneseo.
I was going to say Geneseo is also having a very perilous path.
Even maybe more perilous.
What's the word for more perilous?
Paralysis?
More perilous. They host Rocky, then they have to go to Moline. They go to Rocky, they host Moline.
So basically,
that's tough.
Next week might be I don't want to say elimination game, but the winner of that game is going to get to 5. That's a huge game next week.
Yep, that's a huge game next week. And then obviously Sterling and Moline.
Maybe we just cover that like Geneseo Rocky game and then like just put up a board for Moline Sterling.
No, we don't do that.
I'm just kidding.
We don't do that here.
No. Some places do.
Yeah, we don't.
But okay, so
Staff guy will not allow that.
Yeah, no, I was surprised that, but I mean, that's a tall task to go to Sterling. I don't think I'm surprised by the outcome. Maybe the size of the
margin.
I mean, yeah, I thought it would be a little closer, but I mean, obviously we're not, and that sets up what we've been talking about since we did our Western Big Six preview podcast.
Yep.
Like, we got some things right. Like, we thought it was Moline or Sterling, and we'd see those two teams, and we talked about Week 8. We got some things wrong. Like, UT did not beat Moline. Some things that were said on that podcast were not correct, Scott.
I know.
Man, Stock, you really went for it in that one. I appreciate it. But
you do got to give him credit for, like, you know, if you're going to come out throwing haymakers,
Yep.
that's a haymaker.
Yep. So, yeah, next week in the Big Six, going to be great.
What's the feeling on that? I mean, so do you remember your picks to win conference, Scott?
Moline.
And you were?
I said Sterling.
And I said Moline.
Okay.
Do you still?
What did Cuff
he
say?
Did Sterling.
He did Sterling. I was going to say, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was Moline, you were Moline, and you two were Sterling.
I believe so.
Okay, so at least we have some credibility either way.
Yeah.
We got our bases covered. If you could change your prediction, would you change your prediction?
No.
No, I wouldn't
That was
either.
a quick no.
Yeah, and I wouldn't either. I feel pretty good about. I mean, it's going to be a heck of a game.
It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be great. Yeah, and I think this is like we said, this is kind of what we thought would happen. But I'm glad it came to this. I no offense to anybody else in the league, but I think we wanted to see these two teams play with everything on the line, and we get it.
Both teams are very run heavy. I'm very interested to see if one of these two teams falls behind by, say, 2 possessions. Can their passing game bring them back? Because you're probably not going to be able to run back from a 2-possession deficit. I mean, if it's early, you probably could.
Yeah.
But if you fall behind, say, 24-14 going into the late third quarter, you're going to have to throw the ball. I'm not sure if these two teams are comfortable enough or confident enough in their passing attack to do that.
It would be a perilous situation if they had to pass a lot.
Very perilous. Sorry, go ahead.
Where's this going to be? Like, is this a 21-17 game, or is this a 35-31 game?
The lame answer is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
right?
That is lame.
I think it could be higher scoring. I think it could be one of those old time, no defense.
I just
Big
got
12
the feeling.
games.
We getting some Western Big 12 next week.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that both defenses are better than advertised, or better than talked about. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lower scoring game, especially with the style they both play. If you get in that grind out, pound it out, I mean, the clock's not gonna stop a lot if both teams are running the football. So I don't think it's gonna be super high scoring. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like UT Rocky back in the COVID year. Remember that game?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
but the only thing though is yes, both defenses are very good. I'm not denying that. But you've got two teams that are very exceptional at running the football. Moline, Riley Fuller, Grant Sibley. Sterling, they have the 2-headed quarterback monster of Cale Ryan and JP Schilling. Antonio Tablante.
Got it!
You got it!
He was so
Is back.
You look like my little kid when he pooped in the potty for the first time. You had that look of like,
But he's back and at full strength. These are two very good run teams that might be able, and both the offensive lines are pretty good. They might be able to.
Something to be said about, in a game like this, with everything on the line, neither team wants to make a mistake. So, is there something to be said about where that kind of favors defensively?
Yeah.
That neither offense wants to be the one to make that costly turnover, so they both are going to be
and the way they
holding the ball, play conservative.
Style is like, you get mistakes when you start throwing the football around a little bit.
Yeah.
You're not going to be. Yes, fumbles happen, all that kind of stuff. Special teams will be interesting. So since we won't get to make a pick because we're not invited to the Big Boy podcast,
I know.
We're just so. What's your pick? Are you
Moline?
You're sticking Moline.
I'm going Sterling. I picked him from the beginning.
I think the team that scores the most points is going to win this game.
Yeah, that's
very
I
diplomatic.
do think that's what's going to happen.
Camille Gear is here.
Hello.
She should make up the pick. She could be the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Moline Sterling, go.
Well, okay, before I answer this, what was the score last year?
Ooh, good question.
You know?
Good question.
Moline
I just need
won.
a little bit of context.
Moline won like 28-7.
Okay.
Moline 128.
And that was up there.
Yeah.
But Sterling was pretty beat up. And also a lot of people are gone from Eastbrook team.
So
Yeah.
you picked neither. What stock pick?
Moline.
No, if I had to pick, I would probably pick Moline just because that's what I picked in the preseason podcast, and nothing's
picked
really
Sterling?
changed.
Mhm.
I think they're both
Yeah.
really good.
And you picked Moline.
Yes.
And Cuff, pick Moline.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But it's at Browning.
It is at Browning.
Yeah. For the fact of the home field advantage.
Yep.
Moline. I think maybe if it was at Sterling, it'd be a different
So,
conversation.
Greg, is that one you're gonna try to like weave your way into?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that gets tricky because like I don't often see Big Six games because you or Cuff are staying local. Camille's usually going. You're sending her all over the place.
Yeah, we
young
know.
He's young and dumb.
Thank
So
you.
I don't know. I
young.
would
She's
love.
a young
To,
one.
I would love to be that guy. Locked down at Browning
As a
Field.
wise man has said in this building several times, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's
It's possible.
It's possible. We'll just
All
leave it
right.
at that. It's possible.
All right. Well, that would be fun. All right, Stock. Have we thoroughly covered the Western Big Six?
I believe so.
Hey, actually, before we're done, good to see Charles Jagasaw get a highlight.
Yes.
A lineman doesn't often get a highlight, even when you're the best lineman in the country.
Yeah.
But he got a highlight.
Yeah.
We did jokingly say earlier we thought maybe he might score one of Altman's touchdowns. He didn't, but he was close, right?
Do we think we'll get like a? I mean, we only got a
hope
couple
so.
games left. Like you get like a goal line situation.
He
Can you
falls
just-
on the ball, like come on.
I've thought about that, and I haven't said anything to any Alderman people or anything, but I'm like, why not put him at fullback?
Yeah.
Every once, but then again, I guess.
But then you lose your literally your best
But
lineman.
Yeah.
here's the thing.
And if you're, and I don't think he thinks this way, but if I'm going to go to Notre Dame next year, I don't know. But then again, it's not like he's not at harm's way in the trenches.
What about
Yeah.
just like a
You know.
refrigerator Perry
Yes,
situation,
yes.
right?
I
Like,
don't know if there's been.
do you know what that
I
reference
don't
means?
know.
No, but what I do
Oh.
know is how many people could stop him if they gave him the ball.
That's
Yeah.
a refrigerator
I
Perry
don't
reference.
know if
Okay,
there's
there we
been
go.
too many goal line opportunities. We'll just put it like
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the
fair
thing, though. UT only led 6-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
I
did
know.
see that.
I was
The Pioneers played really
Yeah,
well
they did.
for that in that first half. It's just that eventually the depth and that sort of takes its toll.
Yeah. And on the flip side, credit to Nick Welch, United Township.
Yeah.
They get a huge win. They're
Did
desperate
did
for a
we
win.
jinx them in the podcast by talking about they might be the most improved team?
Yeah, I did.
I just feel guilty.
yeah,
I feel like
I
that's
don't know.
something I said or did. Has anybody mentioned that that's Coach Welch's first victory as a married man?
No.
Like, I didn't want to say anything before they got the victory, but I didn't want to come up with any jinxes or anything. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. Riley's way too good for him, anyways. So it's just a joke.
All right, let's get into the track.
Okay.
The Three Rivers.
Morrison beats
Yeah.
Orion 55-13.
And Morrison gave Rock Ridge a tussle, if you will, last week.
This Morrison team is really interesting.
It's feisty.
Yes, exactly.
Rock Ridge rallies from 14 down in the third quarter to beat Sherrard 35-21.
Yeah.
Peru, St. Bede goes to Princeton, and Princeton beats them 56-7. Newman scores a touchdown on the last play of the game to come back and beat Hall 20-18. In overtime, Kiwani edges Mendota 35-34. Erie Prophetstown shuts out Bureau Valley 33-0 because Riverdale's laid out. Monmouth Roseville was supposed to play Nokomis. Nokomis canceled the game,
Yeah.
so Monmouth Roseville recanted and took the forfeit victory.
I was waiting for the word recanted to get into our podcast. Glad that happened.
Say what did you say again? Who recanted?
Monmouth Roseville was supposed to play Nokomis. Nokomis backed out, so Monmouth Roseville recanted and took the forfeit.
Sometimes I
Hold
think you
on.
should rename the podcast "View from the Stockpile."
I know.
You know, like
I know.
Stockpile's view.
So
So Monmouth Roseville gets the forfeit.
okay.
Yes.
So why couldn't you just say that? Like recanted.
That's because
I'm
that would
trying
be too
to-
easy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enlighten our viewers.
Yeah,
They're already
that's-
smart, but might enlighten them even more.
Yeah. Great win, road win for Sterling Newman. They were 3-3 going into this one. That's a pretty important game for them to go on the road and get that one. For a Newman team that has struggled a little bit offensively, to get that play at the end of the game, come away with the win. That's a nice victory for them.
So they're 4-3, and who do they got left?
Let's see. Put me on the spot here.
I just figured he had it memorized over there.
I know they're home next week. They haven't won a home game yet this year. They're 0-3 at home.
Sterling, Newman, Central Catholic.
Last time they were 0-3 at home to start off with the year was 1991.
Mendota at home next week. Kiwanee on the road. And Kiwanee and Mendota played an interesting game tonight.
Yes, they went to overtime.
Yeah, overtime, I believe.
Yes, overtime. And but getting back to the Newman, J.J. Castle, the 3-yard touchdown pass to Aiden Batten as time expired.
Nice.
And
nice.
Hall had a long touchdown run by Mac Resetich at the end of the first half, called back and it was on a penalty. And if that if that penalty would have occurred, and he would have scored, it would have been Katie Bar the door.
Who's the penalty on?
May have been Katie Bar the door.
What are you calling him out?
No, I'm not calling him out.
You're saying that penalty cost him the game?
No, I did. I said
Here we go.
the penalty had not been occurred, and he would have scored the touchdown, it would have been probably Katie Bar the door, because at that point, Hall would have been ahead at halftime, and then they scored in the third quarter. It would have made it 2.
What would the score at the halftime been?
The score at halftime was 14-12 Newman. So if that touchdown counted, it would have been 18-14. They would have had another score. They scored again in the third quarter. That would have made it a 2-possession game.
And that's Katie Bar the door?
Well, in this game, it would have been, yes.
Okay.
What's
fair
Kitty Barn the door?
Don't.
Yeah, it's just not even.
Okay.
It's
we
a
did
thing.
this on another podcast, and I don't think it.
But
I don't think it got great ratings.
But Morrison double nickels tonight against Orion. 55-13. That is amazing.
Yeah,
so they're 4-3. No. Yes.
No, they're
3-4.
I think they're 3-4. Yeah.
Okay.
Orion falls to 3-4, and their road to the playoffs is very difficult.
Yeah, they got Rock Ridge left.
That's the end of the season. Rock Ridge, the final game, and I think that game's at Rock Ridge.
Greg, did you tweet Stockpiles Uniview today?
I didn't have a chance to get one. Oh, we got to get this one.
Unbelievable.
This is like almost like Princeton Tiger-esque here.
Yeah.
Well, first off,
oh my gosh, Stocky, you have a green turtleneck with the Argyle sweater in Princeton colors. You were all in on this undefeated showdown tonight.
I must have been.
Let's get this photo live on the podcast here. There it is, right there, everybody. All right.
He does do a good job at smiling for the pictures.
He's all in.
And what year's the sweater from? Really
That's newer. That's newer. That's less than 5 years old.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh!
I got last year at Christmas.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Old St. Nick brought it down.
Oh, Old St. Nick. Well, let's talk a little bit about Princeton Tigers, because you're wearing that Princeton Argyle sweater there.
They scored on the first play of the game, and then they got a quick kick, and then there was a punt. Tegan Davis took it 60 yards, 14-0.
Katie Bar the door.
Katie Bar the door. They might be the best offense they are definitely the best offense in the area, and maybe are going to be one of the best offenses of all time. They have scored 55 points or more 5 times this year.
I got to spend a lot of time with Ryan Pearson today.
Yeah.
Really one of my favorite people. Good dude.
Was that these score on the road?
Yes.
Yes. So we were there at 11 a.m. Got the youngin out of bed. We had to make her wake up early because Cuff wasn't with us today.
Yeah,
so
it was miserable.
And
waking up early, not with.
I was gonna say, not
wait a
second.
second.
I hate waking up early.
Sorry,
back to you.
No,
back to
no,
you.
You're fine. So we got to chat, and so off air we were talking about, and I was like, so this team is like, yeah, I like. I'm like, is this one of your favorite groups? And like, I don't mean because you get that question like your favorite kid. And like you can't answer that question. Well, I can't easily. It's
you
Chase.
do.
Yeah, Chase. But like, then after that, like he's like, yeah, but he's like, I like this team, and I like them as kids. They're kind of goofy, but they know when to work. Like you could tell this is a special group, and he's got some freaking really good teams. Also, Brad, and I meant to say it, he's gonna be so mad at me. Brad Mosier did text it that he tied. I tried to get it at the end of the show. You can just tell me. You don't have to.
Brad
be quiet.
Mosier, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I'm so used to being on air. There's just text and not talking and
he
driving.
tied the Princeton record for wins with Joe Ryan for the most all time at Princeton.
Wow.
I think
He's
he
only
did
been
squeeze
there.
that in.
He's only been in there for 6 years. It's only 6 years.
Jeez. Yeah. He's done great work, and he had a great resume coming in. Like, he turned around that Canton program and had them playing well, and now here, like, he's done fantastic, done phenomenal. So,
And he was wearing shorts today.
oh, that's a coach.
And he said he really doesn't change. What did he say? To maybe late November?
Yeah. Well, they'll be playing in November,
Yeah.
for sure. So,
And real quick, last question: have you ever had any? Have you ever eaten anywhere in Princeton?
no. So you mentioned is it
pies?
Myrtles?
Myrtles.
Yeah.
Okay. So I grew up. My parents live in Ottawa.
Yeah.
So Ottawa to the Quad Cities, you pass by Princeton.
Yeah.
My parents brought my kids there one time to eat when they had them on the way
okay.
back. I've never been there though.
So it's pie.
Yeah.
And it's like, so we went to Chicago between Christmas and New Year's, the whole family. And when we were coming back, we were going to go on 88. We ended up going to 80 for some reason. I don't know why. And I'm like, I felt bad because I knew my wife wanted to go on 88 to shop or to stop and shop someplace. And I'm like, well, we can get back up to 88. She's like, no, we just got to stop at Princeton. I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
And she's like, Myrtles. And I'm like, I've never. And we stopped and got like 5 pies.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
All right.
I hate to hijack the podcast with that, but like Myrtle, they had to make another pie. I guess there's 2 of them in Princeton just because the one was so busy.
Oh, okay.
So
not a sponsor, but they could be.
Yeah, and exactly. And
Hit him up.
Coach Pearson brought up a good. He's like, "Why don't you bring back a pie for your wife?" And I was like, "That would be really nice of me."
Yeah, it would be really
but
nice
I was
of you.
really in a hurry to get to lunch.
But you didn't do it.
Oh, I get to get to lunch.
It's so crazy. I also had that idea. I was like, "Oh, there it
Yeah,
is." He was like, "We can't stop."
Somebody was like, so, and I'm like, I don't think I messed anything up recently with my wife.
To
So I didn't think
apologize,
I
yeah.
did. But it's only a matter of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A few hours.
So tomorrow, yeah.
Well, let's look down the rest of the Three Rivers stock.
So tell us about that.
I was at a really interesting game in Sherrard, Tigers and Rockets. For the second week in a row, Rock Ridge goes down early. Last week, they were down 14-0 to start. Came back to win that one. Tonight, man, Sherrard looked really good early on. Really held Rock Ridge in check. Rock Ridge could not get going on offense. They had a couple chances. Couldn't punch it in. Sherrard, on the other hand, like they were... Holland Anderson was just, throwing the ball around, like flinging the ball around, and they were finding open receivers. Carter Brown, a freshman, playing wide receiver right now for Sherrard. Man, he looks like the real deal. He is an athlete. 3 touchdowns in the first.
Playing wide receiver?
Playing wide receiver right now.
Is Holland Anderson a senior or not?
So he had 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns in the first half.
His dad, great dude, Kent Brown. He coached my 8-year-old now in 7U baseball.
Okay.
Great, really nice guy, and he was a good athlete. Kent was at Mercer County or Aledo. I think it was probably Aledo.
Aledo, yeah.
I didn't know if it was Mercer County Aledo while he was there.
Because they switched in 09.
You don't know when he was there.
Just doing simple math.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
It was Aledo.
So it was 21-7 at the half. Carter Brown had the 3 receiving touchdowns. Sherrard looked great.
So we could put him on as a score standout.
I would think so. In a losing effort, yes.
Is Holland Anderson a senior?
I am unsure on that. That's a good question.
Because if he's not, that could be
Stock probably knows.
That would be your quarterback wide receiver combination for the future for Sherrard.
I think he's a senior, but I don't know that for sure. But either way,
but I think eventually Carter will be quarterback.
I would think so too.
Yeah. I think he'll be quarterback in the future.
So, but now for as good as Sherrard looked in the first half, Rock Ridge came back and really took control of this game, and it was just so bizarre. I mean, it's just a tale of 2 halves. I mean, it just looked like a different football game in the second half compared to the first half. Rock Ridge took over. They went to the ground. So Peyton Locke was out. He did not play tonight at all.
Was he hurt?
I believe so, yeah. And then Jacob Bain, the starting quarterback, was out in the second half, and I believe also left due to injury.
Oh, wow.
So is it Connor Deem?
Yeah.
Stepped in at quarterback, and I think we know he's an athlete.
Yeah.
I think he's probably not had a whole lot of reps at quarterback, so he's probably not the most comfortable at throwing the ball and probably reading the offense. That being said, they stuck to the ground game and looked great. I mean, you saw the highlights. Zarlatanis had 2 touchdowns. Deem ran the ball himself out of the quarterback position a few times, and then they had another touchdown from Geyer. I can't think of the kid's
Well, they
first.
also had a pick six.
And they had a pick six
that
as
was
well.
caused
Tipped by
a tip pass by Landon
Landon
Bull.
Bull. I saw his dad tonight.
Yeah.
Baby Bully.
That's
Trying to get that thing to stick. Baby Bully.
Baby Bull, man. And yeah, Landon Bull is a sophomore and is a head above everybody on their defense side of the ball. Like you can just tell. Like he's a great athlete.
But I think this game is a microcosm. Both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Microcosm.
You look at Rockridge. This is their sixth straight win. They are now in the playoffs, and they can do this. They come from behind. They've got a lot of faith, a lot of confidence. Sherrard, they've had these type of games all year where they're almost there, where you see the progress that they made. It's just that they haven't got that last piece yet, and they're getting there. I mean, it's real. If you're a Sherrard fan, they've had several down years, but I think good things are coming. I think next year they could be a playoff team.
Oh, there you go. I like it, and I don't think you're far off. And
I agree with it. I didn't agree with UT beating Moline earlier this year. I think that was the worst prediction ever, but that one I like.
I will say yes. This Sherrard program, I'm sure there's frustration tonight, but in general, if you look at the big picture, you're seeing progress. They're competing week in and week out for the most part. And in this one, yeah, the second half didn't go your way. But, man, in that first half, you really did have something going for you. So, hopefully Brandon Johnston and that Sherrard team can keep things moving in the right direction.
And we've seen them lose games by just 3 or 4 points. This one was by 14. But that's not saying – this game was a lot more competitive than it's been in the past.
Now, on the Rockridge side of the ball, you can't – I said it last week on the podcast – that you can't keep going down 14-0. They did it again, and they proved me wrong and won the game. But in general, you can't keep doing this.
No.
Like, you have to play better than this for a full football game, because maybe you're going to get by these regular season wins, but come playoff time, you're not going to win a game like that.
If they can put 4 quarters together like they've been putting together late, they could really make a run. That's the silver lining with that. The other thing is, you do have to worry. These injuries, it seems like, to the Stars. I mean, yes, they've got decent replacements, but they're starters for a reason.
Yeah, they're a little banged up right now, but man, I mean, Deem stepped in at quarterback and looked the part. He had 1 or 2 interceptions on the defensive side of the ball too. So great game from him. I wasn't able to get his name in the highlights, but a great game from him, and talk about that next man up mentality. He stepped in and did the job. Did it well.
You remember about 7 to 8 years ago, Rockridge had a quarterback that came in that was a freshman, came in about mid-season because of injury.
Yeah.
So it was like...
was it Riley Federer?
Riley Federer, yes.
We might have been one kid that stepped in.
Yeah. And, I mean, maybe...
He's starting quarterback at Monmouth College.
I believe so, yeah.
I mean, Connor Deem could be filling the shoes of Riley Federer from a few years back.
Could be. What other scores we got here?
We covered all the Three Rivers.
Any other games you want to talk about in the Three Rivers? We're good?
No, I think we're good.
All right, we're good.
Carry on.
Lincoln Trail, Princeville defeated A-Town 42-0. A&W stays in first place. They beat Stark County 34-13. Prairie Central beat Mercer County 53-6. Rova Williamsfield beat United 34-6. Knoxville defeated Illini West 34-0.
So I don't think any real surprises there. I think the Anawan Wethersfield kind of proves, that they're playing really well. They're a good football team. They get the win over a good Stark County team. I think everything else, man, Mercer County's a good team. But just listening to WRMJ a little bit tonight,
Prairie Central is the part.
Prairie Central is a great 3A, maybe 4A team.
They're going to be 3A or 4A?
I think they're definitely a 3A school, maybe 4A. And just listening to the broadcast, and John Hoshek just said, like, Mercer County week in and week out doesn't see teams like this. Like, there's plays that they're getting around the edge that normally they're going to break a few tackles and be gone. Not with a team like Prairie Central. They just weren't getting it. So that's a tough one. They're still going to be a great 2A playoff team, but that's a tough loss.
And also reading the projections by Steve Susie, the bracketologist, he said that Sterling, going back, just circling back to them, could be a 4A team. They're like second.
Really?
of the projections, they're 2 away from being bounced down to 4A because of the way the state does the brackets. I mean, could you see Sterling in 4A? Oh my, that could be very interesting.
That would be interesting, yeah.
And even Hall, they said.
What are they now?
They should be 5A.
Usually 5.
Hall would be a 4A school because they're tied in with.
But I don't know
County.
if 4A may almost be 3A, 4A are really tough. Like, I don't know. Not that 5A is easy, but I just think 3A and 4A are always really good.
And 2A is really good also.
So Knoxville got the win to move to 5 wins.
They
Like
look
you said,
very strong defense.
Anawan Wethersfield, they get their 6th win now, so they're sitting at 6-1.
So they're in automatically.
Yep. Interesting matchup down the road. Mercer County, if they can get by Stark County, they have Stark County next week. Then they have Anawan Wethersfield in week 9.
And I think that game's at Wethersfield.
Okay, let's see. Yes, it is. It is at Wethersfield. But in the meantime, Anawan Wethersfield has to go on the road to Roval Williamsfield. So basically, the top teams are all meeting each other in this week and next week. Yeah. So a lot could still shake out in the Lincoln Trail as well.
And also next week is the rematch of last year's LTC championship game. If you want to say that, between A-Town and Knoxville. Yeah.
Not quite the same impact as last year with A-Town struggling.
And I want to say, of course, the one week that you weren't here last week, were you?
I was not here last week.
He did it with somebody else.
I cheated on you.
Yeah.
No, but the one week that we don't do instant reacts, that's actually the week that I was in Illinois. I had stuff to add to the podcast.
Yeah, because you didn't do much this week.
I know.
Well, let's just record it now and we'll edit it in.
When I'm in Iowa, it's just, I just don't know. But yeah, I went to Anawan and saw Anawan Knoxville. I could have been so much help.
The game was in Anawan, right?
It was.
So jealous. I love a game in Anawan.
It was great. They all cried. They were super emotional. It was a lot of fun.
It's just like literally like there's like no bleachers. It's just like you pull up along the side of the road.
It might as well be next to a cow pasture.
It's awesome. I love it. It's my favorite.
It's like Friday Night Lights.
It's the Illinois high school experience. The Illinois high school experience.
You almost said Iowa.
Yeah,
I know.
Was close.
Stock. All right, let's get in Northwest Upstate Illini.
Okay, Fulton beat Forston 30-28.
That was a great game.
22-3. Fulton was.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, great comeback from them.
Lee Wynn pulls away from Dupec 44-18. It was 22-12 at halftime.
They are no doubt about it the best team in Class 1A. Maybe they'd be the best team in Class 2A. I don't know. They're really good. Dakota
blows out Galena 30-7. That puts Dakota ahead of Galena for the playoff.
That was the game that Kyle Kampmeyer, who runs NUICfootball.com, he went to that game over Dupec and Lena because it was basically a playoff play-in game.
Yeah, that's what you said on the podcast.
Yeah, so that's a huge win for Dakota, a program that's been struggling.
See, I listened to the podcast.
How many times do you go back and listen to this?
What to the one? I don't know why.
Is it more than once?
Okay, I would say usually this podcast averages about 300 listens. Are you like 250?
Are you 299?
Come on, give me a little credit. I mean, then the other one is me, so that's it.
That means that you don't even listen. No, I do listen on Sundays. I listen to it once.
All right,
Sunday.
well, thank you.
And the other LT.
Why do you wait 24 hours?
Because Saturday I'm busy.
Yeah, Saturday is college football.
He's
right?
busy being staff guy. We've discussed these things.
He's busy watching Iowa State.
The other Northwest Upstate Illini game, EPC beat West Carroll 61-0.
Yep. All right. 8-man football. The big one, if people are listening to this on Saturday afternoon, is happening as we talk to you, or it's already over. West Central and Milledgeville.
Correct.
I believe they're in the top 5, both in the
West
top
Central's
5.
West Central's undefeated.
Yes. And Milledgeville, but they're still up in the top 5. They're a great team, and they've lost to 2 really good teams this year. That's going to be a great football game, but like I said, it's probably already happening as you hear this. What do we have tonight? Ridgewood went on the road to Wisconsin.
Yes. Well, let me finish with a couple of things.
Okay. It's your show. I'm just here.
You're just living it.
One of the longest standing rivalries was played tonight. LP defeated Ottawa 31-7.
Okay.
That's a huge
rivalry.
And this is
not from the West?
And that's also not 8-man football the last time I checked.
I just thought I'd throw that in.
Well, why don't we go in order? We can get to those in a minute.
Well, you didn't let me. I didn't know if you were going to or not. I don't have a script.
I don't have a script.
Going back to 8-player, Pola defeated River Ridge 60-14. Hiawatha defeated South Beloit 60-20. And Ridgewood defeated Williams Bay 70-38. In fact, Ridgewood tonight on their Twitter was saying, we have state playoff shirts that we're going to
I saw that. Very nice.
So you can get some Ridgewood swag, Dazzo.
You would love to play for Coach Elder and this Ridgewood team because literally every Friday they tweet out like where they go for their like team dinner on the way to a road game.
Yeah.
So you'd be totally in on that.
Wait, do people like show up?
No, they take the bus to the game, and so like the team stops
they
and
don't
eats
tweet
dinner.
out like, "Hey, we're going to Chick-fil-A. Join us." They just like take a picture while they're there.
No, but maybe we should start doing that when we go to Pizza Ranch. Like, this is the score. This is where we picked for lunch. He hates the idea. He's like, "You're stupid."
No,
He can't even say it. I can't even say it convincingly.
Of course, I can't
Dazzo
find it
knows
now,
that
but,
if he goes to a restaurant, he's gonna get mobbed by all the people who want his autograph. So
Yeah, we actually had that happen today. It was really funny.
Yeah.
In Princeton,
We had a fan. No, we were at Pizza Ranch in Bettendorf, and someone wanted his autograph.
did they think he was Corey Kepler?
No, they actually for once knew he was Matt Randazzo. Yeah.
Yeah, so tonight they stopped at a place called Alfano's. Looked great.
Alfano's, where's that?
Probably. I'm not sure. It didn't indicate where it was at.
Alfano's in Rock Island.
Didn't indicate the
No.
address.
There's an Alfano's in Rock Island. It's really good. Actually,
And then they stopped the week before, a couple weeks ago. They stopped at the home of the original Chicken George, the Candlelight Inn.
oh, that's fantastic.
See, you would love to play for them.
Yeah.
What the heck
Get
is
the
the
dinner?
Candlelight? Or do I want to know?
It's in like Sauk Valley area, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It means nothing to me.
It's
Sterling,
chicken
Rock Falls.
chips.
Thank you.
Chicken
Yeah, like chicken. Yeah.
Sounds like your kind of place.
Love it.
Yep. Yep. What else? Okay, what else, Doc?
That's all for the 8-player. A lot of the games are tomorrow, like
Na-
West Central, Milledgeville.
Name every other score on this list that we haven't gotten to.
Alden Hebron is at Orangeville.
Alden
and-
Hebron.
Yeah, and they're at Orangeville, and Amboy's at
He
BPC.
just rolls
Okay.
with it.
All right. What else? What else? You got like Rushville Industry in South Fulton. You got Rock Falls in North Boone. You got Winnebago, Stillman Valley. Let's go.
North Boone beat Rock Falls 54-13.
I mean, there's a reason you write all these things down.
I do because they're in that conference, but a lot of times we don't get to those, and I don't.
And Dazzle gets mad at you because they're not in the Quad Cities area.
Well, I don't
so.
put them
Rock
on.
Falls is.
Huh?
Oh, Rock Falls
Yeah,
is.
Rock
Yeah,
Falls
okay.
is,
Yeah.
but
How come we don't get Winnebago, Stillman Valley scores?
Stillman
Dazzle?
Valley won. Stillman Valley beat Winnebago 28-14.
If we started covering, maybe they would become part of a view area.
And Dixon beats Genoa Kingston 21-19. I think Dixon qualified for the playoffs tonight.
You don't have a Byron, Oregon score.
No, I do not.
How did
I
Iowa
did not.
Marquette do?
They play tomorrow.
Yeah, they play tomorrow. I
Yep.
don't have them on my list.
Oh, don't have them on your list.
Okay,
They're
I've got
independent.
something I want to ask.
Yeah.
The class.
Yeah.
I'm going to Iowa, Illinois tomorrow. In
Yeah.
Champaign.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, who does everyone think is going to win? Because since we've got Iowa people and Illinois people.
Don't call me an Iowa person.
Well, I know. I said both.
And I'm not. And I'm. Yeah. And I'm not an Illinois fan
Okay,
either.
regardless if you're a fan, some of it live in Iowa.
I'm not a fan either.
And so, please.
no,
And
I'm not. You guys remember the meeting?
Yeah.
And what?
It pains me, but I do think Illinois will get the win.
I agree. What about you,
Do
Stock?
just like
Illinois-
Iowa or Illinois more?
Oh, that's tough. That's
Wait,
really
who do you
tough.
cheer for?
Go Cats, Northwestern.
When he said Cats, I legit thought it was Kentucky, and I was like, wait, yes, I forgot. Not.
Yeah, that's really tough. Probably, I don't know. Like, Illinois bugs me more when they're good.
And what?
Well, man,
In
like
football or basketball?
in football mainly.
Then they don't
They're
bug you.
never good.
That's
yeah.
still that's what I like, but yeah.
Okay, Stock, who do you think's gonna win?
I'm going to say Illinois 13-9.
That score actually makes sense.
That actually does, because that's
It
like
does.
maybe one touchdown and a missed extra point.
No, it's a touchdown, 2 field goals, and then 3 field goals for Iowa.
Yeah, because Iowa
Matt
can't
Randazzo,
score.
who do you think's
I have
gonna win?
done way too many podcasts on this stupid
I-
game. I might not even watch it.
I-
I might watch Extreme Rules on WWE.
Nick Bull. Speaking of Nick Bull, earlier we mentioned him. He invited me to go watch it at his house tomorrow night. But
Oh.
the problem is, I usually get like a night out tonight.
Yeah.
This is kind of like
Yeah,
my
I get
night
it.
out.
Hey,
So
I have 4 kids of my own.
yeah, Yeah. So tomorrow I'm probably at home.
I'm on record, and for some reason I think Iowa wins the football game. In fact, I'll probably put my wife's hard-earned money against it. And that's not a homer pick. I just think that usually I'm not quite sold on Illinois. I think Brett Bielema is doing a great job. I'm just not quite sold on that yet, that they've beaten enough good teams. I think Indiana's bad. They lost Indiana. And then Kirk Ferentz, usually when people are against him or the chips are down, he usually comes up with a way to win a football game. So
yeah, that would make sense.
And they're very similar teams. I think Iowa's special teams might be a little bit better. So won't be shocked if Illinois wins. But plus Ferentz hasn't lost 3 straight games since 2018. And they're not going to beat Ohio State the next game.
Wait.
So that would be 3 straight games.
I don't think you're going to have what you had a couple of years ago when Iowa trucked Illinois 63-0.
That's real quick.
And there were 2 people. There were 2 people left in the student section of the at Memorial Stadium.
That was so Iowa had lost 3 straight games going into that game. That was the last time Iowa had lost 3 straight games, and then they won 63-0. So that's just
Does anyone want to know what I think?
No.
Yeah. You said you think Illinois is going to win.
I do think Illinois is going to win. Well, someone said to me, Illinois has no offense. I'm like, you can't sit here and say that to me when Chase Brown is leading the country in rushing yards. But I think it's going to be really close. Yeah, I pray to God it doesn't go to overtime.
Probably never been to Chambana before.
I have.
Oh, okay.
When Illinois won the Big Ten championship over Iowa, and they rushed the court.
Oh, okay. So for basketball,
okay. But for football,
where's your sense of adventure?
We're one of the Quad City station that actually covers Illinois.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Where's your sense of adventure? Don't you want a double or triple overtime epic?
Yeah, I'm good with that. If it's an 11 o'clock kick, a 6:40, I'm already. Listen, none of you guys.
That's gonna be late night.
Well, wait,
that's a late night.
You complain about getting up real early.
Yeah,
but true. A 6:40 kick, you beat staying up late like you usually do.
Well, none of you guys had to deal with the horribleness that I had to deal with the 4-hour lightning delay a couple weeks ago.
Was that a 4:15 back in the Quad Cities?
I think I got home. I think 4:15, 4:30.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I saw your tweet at whatever.
I think you're right. I think
the game that ended at 1:40, and I was sitting.
Oh, and I was so mad.
I tapped out. I tapped out at 1:10.
That's so nice. I was there, and I had to suffer through it. And I texted Corey multiple times. I'm like, "Can I leave?" And he's like, "No."
So you were whining on.
Of course.
You were whining.
Do you know me? I wanted to go.
So last point. I won't compare atmospheres. But I will say, and I think Dazzle, you'll agree, it's easier to cover a game at Illinois because there's way more sideline to run down.
Yes. Kinnick is fun.
Kinnick is an experience, but covering it as a photographer on the sideline is rough.
Yeah, that will feel good.
So you'll have much more room to move around.
Isn't it Illinois? Don't you go up into the stands?
Do you have? I don't know if you have to. Maybe you do.
To cover the game?
To when you have to go from one end to the other, around the bench, you can't go behind it. You have to go up and. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so all right, that's it. We're done.
All done. I can't believe it.
Stocky, give me your final thought.
I think that.
Just kidding. We're gonna.
I think that. Good night, everybody.
He's gonna get it in anyway.
I think that next week's game between Sterling and Moline could be one of the best of the year.
All right, we got to mark it down for View of the West game of the year.
He does a Stackpile score stats of the night.
Yep.
And I said, "Hey man, you got 20 seconds." He's like, okay. I'm like, no, seriously, you got 20 seconds. That's it. I got you. Jerry Bird said he went inside for 5 minutes, came back out, and you're still talking.
Jerry also came on set.
And wanted bacon, apparently, or something.
Yep.
Who doesn't?
All right, that's it. We'll see ya.